Good morning to day 414. Happy New Year to everybody. Sorry I've not been in touch, I've been away. Been a few of you inquiring about what's going on, where's the channel, where's the videos. Just had a break, that's all. As you can see in the background, we have a hole full of water. Water shouldn't be in it at the moment, but it's got water in it. So, have we enjoyed it since we've been back? Yes, we jumped in. Is it finished? Is it ready? Not really. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is just obviously talk you through what's happened in the meantime. In the meantime, I'd just like to say before I start, Happy New Year. Hope you had a great Christmas. Come back to Barbados and it's nice and overcast and a lot cooler on the temperature front, which is lovely. Today, been to the school, dropped the kids off. First day back. Roads are absolutely chock-a-block and it's been raining. So, pool, let me give you an update. So I think I left you on day 24 of the pool build, and the pool contractor has had another 4 weeks to get this sorted, but unfortunately it's still not finished. So typical story in construction. When you're not around, things don't go according to plan. Mice away, no, cats away, mice will play. So anyway, I'll show you a few close-ups in a minute about what's actually gone on and what's happened that's gone well and what's maybe needs to be rectified and stuff like that. But I think we're very close. We're very close to obviously finishing off. As you can see behind me, the LED strips haven't delivered yet. Hopefully they're going to be delivered today, so we can actually start the wheels in motion on getting the electrics put in and the drivers installed for those. I'm hoping that we can actually get the light conduits themselves actually straight in without having to do any form of cutting or editing, but everybody that's been watching the channel knows my luck, so the chances are the grinder will be coming back out. As you can see from the pool edge at the front, there is a lack of height. That's because we've actually turned the water off for now, because we've got some leakage coming from the trough into the basement itself, so we're going to have to get that sorted out. Some of the leaks have actually been, they've been repaired. Whether they fixed or not, I'm not too sure, but we'll find out when more water goes in. But we need to get more water out because there's more leaks coming from further down. So I don't know if you remember rightly, but the trough itself had some concrete in there from when we tried to do some plastering and the rain came down. And I was telling the pool contractor, you need to remove the sort of weak, slurry concrete on the floor of the trough before you do any plastering. Kept on saying it, but they weren't listening, so they landed up plastering the sides of the trough, and then I kept on reminding them. They remembered. They started digging up the floor, but they'd already plastered down to the floor and across the actual corners. So I think the leakage we have might be coming from them actually plastering down onto what in effect is a very weak compromised concrete. I'm fingers crossed that's not the case, but it seems to be coming in right at the very bottom of the trough into the basement on the left hand side of the pool over there, and it also seems to be coming in a little bit through into the pump room as well. We obviously sealed up the lid here. That's just been SL1'd. SL1, by the way, is just a very, very good roofing silicone from Sherwin-Williams. Great stuff. So they do it in white, which is unfortunately the colour we had to go for because they didn't have the grey in. The grey would have been better on there, obviously. So the door itself has now been cut in down the back of the pump room. That's been sealed up. The pump has been installed, but they haven't put it on 2 8-inch blocks, which is what I need because of the height of the water that comes in. So that's going to have to be changed at some stage, but the pump is in and it's operational. The filter is in, but it's not fully connected, and the heat pump is installed, and again, not fully installed or connected. Most of the mosaics are all finished off, obviously, but I have seen there's a few mosaics in the pool itself with grout missing, so I'm not too sure how they're going to grout those now that it's been full of water. And I do have a pool contractor at the moment. It's a little bit on the missing list, so again, workload probably elsewhere is dictating priorities for him, which unfortunately means that we're not his priority, which is a bit of a pain. But anyway, I'm sure I'll talk to him later on today, kick him up the backside and make him arrive. But you know, in general, they've done an okay job. It's it's a bloody good job, but where I'm concerned, there's just some teething problems that are letting the job down. So let me quickly spin it around and I'll show you. So the tiling was all finished off in the end, and I managed to get them to also plaster in here to make sure that's all finished off both sides, because if you remember rightly, one of the problems was when you're in the pool looking at that side, you could see just loads of gouges and unfinished work. So I'm pretty sure that both sides have been done. I haven't checked both sides, but this side is definitely done. Water is, as you can see, sitting very nicely in the track where the LED is going to go. So it's going to be very important to ensure that we get that completely finished off, completely sealed, and then get the track installed to ensure that we don't have any compromise where water can get under the tiles or through into the basement. We do have water leaking downstairs into the basement from this area here, and as you can see, the crack that we repaired unfortunately seems to be coming back out again. So I'm not too sure why that is. But yeah, it looks like it's bloody hard to do it, but it seems to be finished off all the way along in here, which is good. We've also chased out, if you remember rightly, we've chased out where the LED cabling will come across and come up, and we'll house it all in here. So hopefully I can get the electrician out to make sure we can definitely do that. One of the issues we do have, as you can see here, we're just under one full tile of ceramic there, but over on that side we're over. So what happens is when the pool is full up, it does tend to go off the right hand side and not left hand side, which is a real pain. So anybody that's doing an infinity pool, you must make sure that the contractor puts a level actually on the infinity edge to ensure that the level is straight. If it's not, it needs to be cut back, or it needs to be plastered up, and then you tile it. This one is leaning backwards, which apparently is right. I thought it would have to lean forwards, but apparently it does lean backwards. But unfortunately it's also leaning that way. So it's okay leaning backwards, but it's not okay leaning leftwards or rightwards. It has to be completely dead straight. It has to be plumb. Otherwise you have the problem we have, which is water is now going off of that corner. So as you can see around the pool, it's over the one ceramic tile, sorry, mosaic tile at the very top. Whereas you get around this side and you start seeing the grout. I'll give you a bit closer view. So you can actually see the grout on this side, but you can't see the grout on that side. So it's very, very minor, but it has been having an effect. The trough itself has got water in it, which has obviously been the overflow from the kids playing in it at the weekend. It was about 2 inches, it's now about 5 inches. So as you can see around the 4-inch pipe, they've had to do some form of editing around there, but they've also got to do the same thing in this corner. So this corner here, all the way around here is compromised somehow. So we're going to have to get all of this water out and get that corner dug out and redone. You can even see like a bit of a discolouring on the corner. So we have water going in and making the bricks over there damp. So it's either coming through the floor or that corner or both. So that's going to have to be done. Obviously it's irrelevant here because it's obviously going into the actual pool itself, so even if it is compromised it makes no difference. But again, over here they've actually again dug out around here and done some form of fix around that pipe to make sure that the water stops leaking around there and there, because that's where it was coming in. And again in that corner we have a slight compromise, so again it's a bit more sloped over there, but we need to get it down and get that corner dug out and get that repaired as well to ensure that nothing comes through there. They've also got some marks on here. I think they've actually scored these out. They just need to replaster over them. So these were cracks. So I think they've cut them back, but they haven't finished them off. So I was under the impression they're actually meant to be doing something on here, because obviously the finish is not ideal. So we'll see about that. Let me take you down to the front if it's not too boggy. It's been raining today, as you can see. So we've redone the steps because the steps were absolutely caked in blue plaster and tile adhesive, and as you can see on here, it's still crap everywhere. The guys have still got to come back and do a clear up. But Sherwin, whilst I was away, has actually got these repainted because they were absolutely wrecked. So again, not ideal. It is a bit boggy, but let me have a look. So we have a door made by Dion the man. Very similar to the gates at the front, obviously, in a nice stainless. It's a louvered door. It's covered at the moment in cellophane because it's not ready yet. But the bottom is a panel, the top is louver. Get a bit of leaking coming in here from somewhere. A little bit more water coming through here. Damn. Okay, we're going to have to do some of that. I think I'm going to have to take that out completely and concrete it in. So I don't want any leaks coming through. But the leaks here, we had a leak coming through here which seems to dried up slightly, but again there's no water in here. And there's no water coming through here now, obviously because of the water being low, but we are still getting dampness here. So what I don't want to end up doing is filling that up and still having the same problem, so we'll have to look at that. The pump is in, but like I said, it's only on one block, it's on two, because as you can see, the height we have here in the doorway, it means that water will leak in. So if we flood out here, the water's going to come in, and it means we're going to compromise the pump, so that needs to come up one more block. I did tell the pump contractor and the pool contractor, but they seem to have carried on without. So anyway, that's going to have to definitely be done. All the pipes have been installed and electric's all been moved with the heat exchange outside. And there she is. Again, not set up at the moment, and got cabling up here, which I'm not too sure what all this is. So all this needs to be put somewhere or cut back. But yeah, so that's all in. I personally would have taken this closer to the wall and had those pipes going directly through the holes, but the holes were cut and now we've got this here. So, and again, the electrical pipe, I would have taken that higher up, because again, we've got the compromisation out here of water. I'd have taken that through here and ran it down the wall on the inside. But anyway, nice door from Dion, fair play to him. That's been installed. Again, I keep on recommending Dion to you. Dion has actually had a few people on the channel reach out to him, which is great. So thanks for people that have actually taken note and reached out to him. Yeah, anything you need, gates, doors, vents, he's bloody good, and he tends to do what he says he's going to do. So I'd always recommend someone that's reliable like that. But yeah, he did say to me the other day, to thank you guys, because he's heard that he's been mentioned on the channel, and he's also had some people reach out to him, which is good news. So it's nice to see that this is actually reaching out a positive way. So today, one thing I do have to do is the door itself doesn't have a lock fitted to it. Dion has actually cut the American hole out. So today I need to go and get a lockable door handle for that. And I need to consider what I'm going to do with this as well. I don't want this being out in the elements. I know it's plastic, but obviously it's stainless steel, but obviously there's a lot of other metals in here, so I need to try and get that. It won't last 5 minutes on the sea here. So I need to think about how I'm going to try and box that in somehow. So anyone who's got any ideas, let me know in the comments below. What else? Let me have a quick look around, see if there's anything else I can show. The pool's obviously the main one, obviously. But obviously no work apart from that has happened over the last 4 weeks whilst I've been away. So the pool itself, I think you'll agree, looks absolutely amazing. It's just a shame I've come back and it's not finished. You know, in 4 weeks you think, you know, the contractor said 2 to 3 weeks. He had nearly 5 weeks, 23 to 24 days before I went, then another 4 weeks to get this sorted. So, but anyway, sorry to be a neggy, but it's just disappointing I've come back and I still have to have some work done. But the tiles, I think you'll agree, actually have now worked out really well. I'm glad that I went with the original plan, which was have the tiles put in and have a nice box gutter cut in to the floor. If we can try and get some of the actual other bits done, so we're still meant to have the railing put on here and the steps put over there. I'm not too sure how we're going to get those fixed to the floor now they filled it with water. But that's definitely going to have to be done. And again, where the guys were obviously doing a lot of this blue plaster I brought in, and you can see the steps. I mean, these 3 steps, 4 steps, sorry, are nice and semi-white. The one down here is blue. So again, they should have really got that cleaned off before they put it in. The pool itself has got a few marks on it, but again, it's a plaster, so I don't mind the effect. It's quite nice. It's a plastered pool. It's not meant to be completely the same colour. So yeah, it looks okay. There's a few patches on there where they've had to come back. So you can see a few dark patches where they've obviously come back and had to patch up and sand down. And then we've obviously got quite a lot of white on there. You can see footprints and stuff, so that needs to be cleaned. But again, I assume they can do that with some from a pool hoover. And again, it's off at the moment. The pump is on, so it's circulating, but it's off. So what's meant to happen is there's meant to be water mains turned on. The water's meant to fill up. When the pool is full, then it falls off the side here, goes into the hopper, which is in the trough, and gets taken straight back into the pump room and comes back out through the 6 jets, as well as these 2 hoppers here as well. But you've got the 6 jets here, one here, and then the other 4 over here. All those 6 jets fire up that way at an angle, pushing the water over the edge. That is a fill over there on the wall. You can just about see it. That one there. And then there's two LED lights here which haven't been installed, and there's another 5 on this wall that haven't been installed. So the things that need to be done at the moment, there's some grouting that needs to be finished off in the pool here, so you can just about see over there. I think you might be able to see it through the water. There's a few sort of tiles that don't seem to have any grout in them, so we definitely need to get those done before they're compromised. There's 5 LEDs on that wall and 2 on the one behind below me now that need to be installed. The LED tracks need to be put in, but they haven't arrived, so hopefully they're going to be coming today. And the pump needs to be taken off one block, and the whole thing needs to be set up properly, which I think Bruce at Pumps and Mechanical is looking to do this week, as far as I'm aware. So yeah, that's pretty much where we are so far on that front. The cracks that we did on the pool floor don't seem to be holding very well, so maybe we put too much Zypex, which is a waterproof, into the concrete itself. So we used Rockite, which is a very, very strong concrete, and we put a waterproof with it. So, but a lot of them seem to be coming out, so I'm not too sure what's gone wrong. I mean, that one's virtually non-existent. That one's all come out. That one's all come out. So yeah, something's gone wrong. I mean, some of them that seem to be in the shade seem to be okay. The ones that aren't in direct rain contact seem to be all right. So I think we've used too much waterproof, I think. So the downside is we're gonna have to bloody scrape them out and do them again. I mean, that one seems to be okay. No, it's cracking. So yeah, we've done a crap job on that. So anyone got any ideas about what we can use to fill cracks on pre-made concrete, certainly that's polished, let me know. Because what we've used has not worked, and it's now going to cause us more work. Sherwin has actually done some little teething things around the building, so you know, he was working on the window frames and that lot before I went away, so they all look great now. We did have one issue inside. The pool contractor used our external pipe here, which is common sense, but unfortunately the plumber connected up that pipe to our mains house pipe, which is after the pump, which means that pipe operates on the pump. That took 3 days to fill up. So our pump was running for 3 days, which then decided to have a hissy fit and seize up and leak water again back into the pump room of the cottage. So now that's been taken away to be repaired. You know, under the circumstances, it really should be the pool contractor that pays for that, because obviously he should have connected to it in the first place, because the water feed for the swimming pool has been taken in to the pump room, so it should have been fed from there. It shouldn't have been taken from there. However, in his defence, how is he meant to know that an outside patio pipe was meant to be connected to a pump? But anyway, so that's caused me another problem. So that's been taken out, which means the house is now running on normal mains rather than pressured mains, which isn't major, but there is a difference in pressure. And I've also bought some pumps in from the UK as well, which I'm going to try and see if I can get installed. Hopefully there might be a better solution than the one that I've already got out there is at the moment. So we'll see on that. Things to do today. The thing really I want to try and focus on in the next couple of days is trying to get the landscaping done. Obviously we've got the garden back here that still needs to be done, so I'm looking for landscapers, gardeners yes, but landscapers, people that can come out and level that for me. So I need probably 3, 4, 5 guys out there leveling that, getting all the the bulbous sort of hills that we've had unfortunately created on there. I need those taken out. I need the land leveled, and then I need someone to seed it and get some grass going on it. So if anybody knows any decent landscapes on the island that would be interested in taking that on, let me know. The front, we need to do the same thing. We need to level. We need to take up the weed sheets that we've got here and here. Both of them need to be leveled. It's a very clay mud. Now that it's starting to bed in, you're starting to see a few dips, and so that all needs to be balanced out. The front, we're going to go AstroTurf on the front, so that needs to be laid, but it needs to be laid on a nice, smooth, level surface. And this one here, I'm going to get some advice on some plants, but obviously we're going to seed that. So hopefully that makes you guys happy. A lot of people don't do AstroTurf. Please put electrical grass. So we are going to go grass on that. The house is held up really well. We've got the vents put in, so it's breathed a lot better. We've got air conditioning potentially going in towards the end of this month, certainly in the front side of the house itself. We're going to go with a central system for this room and this room. So that's hopefully going to be installed towards the end of January, which means that we'll have a nicer climate to live in during the evening, because the house itself does heat up in the day, and then obviously when it comes to enjoying it in the evening, it's like sitting in a sauna. So it'd be nice to have some form of air conditioning, and that's for sure. So that's something that's going to happen in the next month. And it also means that we're going to have to put the condensers just behind this wall here, because the holes that we made on the back of the garage were for the thinner, taller units, whereas we're now going to go for a central air system, which means they're big square units with a fan on the top. So they won't fit there. So we're going to have to move where we put the condensers, which is a real shame. So it does mean we'll have to come up with a different solution for what we're going to use the back of the garage for. If I ever have time and get into surfing, maybe I can use it for a surfing cupboard. But other than that, it just means I've lost some space in my garage to something that we're not going to use. This is where they'll go. We'll take the piping out of this wall here, and the condensers will end up being housed here. So there'll be 2 condensers for the front of here, and there'll be 1 condenser for the back of the bedrooms as and when we get around to doing that. But at the moment I'm trying to raise the money for that. Windows, I had a nightmare with the windows. The windows are apparently ready to be shipped, but apparently they're struggling to find a company that can put them into a crate big enough in order to ship them so they don't get damaged. So that's the excuse I'm getting at the moment as to why the windows aren't here, but I get the feeling that's not a genuine excuse. So anyway, so the window on the side of the cottage here, the set of patio doors, bifold doors for there, and the monstrous 8-foot by 6-foot window to go in there haven't even made it on the water as yet, which is a bit disappointing. All of the manholes have been finished off, so as you can see, the manholes have been sprayed on the inside, they've been concreted in, and they've been fitted. Unfortunately, they were all installed. There's still the holes that were made, but all the holes that were made, unfortunately, are all pissed. So that's doing my OCD a little bit in. But anyway, I suppose once we've actually sanded that down and stained it and then got some grass around it, you won't really notice it. As you can see, slightly pissed. Probably the straightest one we got. Yeah, that's a real shame. But it is what it is. It's detail, unfortunately, I wasn't on at the time, so I can only hold myself responsible for it. Other than that, that's pretty much it where we are at the moment. So it's just the pool, really. As you guys know, it's just trying to get that finished off. So it's a shame that we've come back and it's not completely finished, but it's nearly there. So maybe another couple of days worth of work to be done to rectify some of the issues on the leaking on the front, and then the setup of the pump and the heat exchange, etc. And then we could pretty much good to go on that. Hopefully today the LED strips will turn up so we can try and get them popped in. I so hope they pop in. I hope I haven't got to do any cutting to get them in, but you guys know my luck, so the chances are there's definitely going to be some grinding of some sort. They did say they were going to leave me 20 mil, because I needed 17 for the track, but it's not looking like it's 20 mil to me. So I think it's going to be a tight squeeze, that's for sure. Certainly when you've got certain parts like here where the tile is obviously poking out a little bit more than it should do. So I think we're going to have a bit of an issue with that. And as you can see, it does collect the water a lot. So we're definitely going to have to get that cleaned out. And these tracks are going to have to be sealed in really well to ensure that we don't actually get any water sitting around them. Okay, other than that, I'll leave you to it for now, and I'll check in with you later on today. Again, Happy New Year. Hope you're all well. And I'll update you throughout the day as and when things change. Take care. Welcome back. Before I start babbling on, if you don't mind giving me a thumbs up, and anyone new to the channel, please subscribe. We've actually got the pool people have been out today and obviously had a quick play around with what's going on. They've seen some of the issues we've actually got here, but they're going to continue filling the trough at the front to see how it goes. So now that the actual pump is on at the RPM it should be, it was set to about 500, I think it's now about 2,500 to 3,000. They've also now turned on the water to the trough, and have given the bottom a quick brush as well to try and get some of the dust up. But it is highlighting the main issue we have, which is this, which I'll show you. So the pool, as you know, the whole patio has not been pulled very flush at all. That's why we were deliberating whether to go with the tiles or not. So we've gone with the tiles, and to a certain extent, this is what it should look like here. Bone dry here, bone dry here. No one inside, the water at the level, and bone dry tiles. You can accept a little bit of water coming over like that, because obviously to get that dead straight is very difficult. However, it is achievable. However, what we are getting on this side, forgive me, I'm walking on the pool edge. As you can see, the water has completely come over to here and is going straight into the trough, and is now making a lot of gurgling because it's continuously pouring in. The only water that should be coming at this present time into the trough is from the infinity edge. And the infinity edge, as you can see, has got water pouring off it, absolutely lovely, no problems at all. But as you come around here, you see that it suddenly stops and is dry all the way along. That's because unfortunately the infinity edge is now raising upwards from here. So we have water, as you can see, which is how it should be all the way along. See the ripple? That's how it should be all the way along here, and then as a result of that, the water won't be backing up here. However, when you get to here, the water is struggling to get over the edge, because when you get to here, it's dry. So the water is here, and I did actually say to him when he did this, it looks like it's leaning backwards. What I couldn't see was how straight this actual edge was. From here, we actually increase along to that end. So as you can see down here, this is dry, there's nothing. The water's here, look, but it's not here. So when you look at it in the edge there, look, you can see where the water's not even getting to the edge at all. And it's the same down here as well. Let me do it in the light for you. So on here, you can physically see there's no water on here. There's water here. There's no water on here at all. It's bone dry. Then you see a bit of water here, a bit of water here. So the biggest issue we're having at the moment, we're having no water coming off the edge. And because it's not coming off the edge and it's hitting the gutter first, it can't come off the edge. So the only thing to do is to now take this down. But obviously with all of this now plastered in, what can you do? So, welcome to the land of the Eddie Vane problems. What would you guys do? Would you make him redo it and go through all the dust and the mess and all that lot again? Would you leave it as it is and put up with it being average? What do you do? That's how it should be. It should be pouring off here like that. No water coming through the trough at all. It should all be like that all the way around. And then as and when you get any splash, more water comes off the edge, and any water going to here gets trapped and comes into here. At the moment, it's not designed to be a continual circulation of water. It's there for overspill. And it certainly shouldn't be having bubbles like that coming through it. That means there's a high volume of water coming from the pool into it. That also means that we are, as you can see here, lots of water. I mean, the pipe itself is at least 50% full. So there's that much water being pushed off. It literally is at 50%. So as soon as we start splashing in here, it won't even be able to handle the level of water that's got going through it. So the last thing I want to be doing is having more dust and drilling and tiling and all sorts, but what can I say? I will show you a picture in a minute of the pool as it was earlier. I did show you guys on the video from a little bit previous, but I'll upload a picture in a minute so you can see it. Earlier on when the water was lower, you can see how out of plumb that edge is, because here you're about ½ inch, but over here you're about 1.5 inches. So that's the whole reason why we've got no water going off the end, and why we've now got this gutter working overtime to try and cope with the water. This is starting to get it as well, so this back piece is all completely covered as well. So that side was too high, so we knew that there was going to be a lack of water going over there, but in an ideal world, this side was meant to look like that. So as you can see, this is a lot more flat, that one's a lot more ramped. So we knew that we were going to get a little bit more water coming on here than here, but I didn't know that was going to be a failure, and this was then going to work overtime. So, you know, I'm sure if I say, look, we need to take this off and start again, I'm sure he'll do it, but it's just the aggro and the time and the dust and the mess and the... Jeez. So, what would you guys do in my position? I know what I'm going to do. But anyway, that will be a story for another video. What a shame, eh? What a shame. I was hoping we could just fill this and jump in and that's it. We don't need to see any more tradespeople around the pool and it's all done, but it's not meant to be. And obviously, if there's any issues in the pipe itself along here, you know, with regards to the concrete and the pipe sealing each other, then we're allowing more water to penetrate, which, you know, if it's over here, it's fine because this is the irrigation tank here. But over there's a basement. So if we start getting water leaking issues with excess water going in, then we could start causing more problems over there as well, which is not going to be good. So it's such a shame we can't see that all the way around without having to redo the whole front edge. On a lighter note, Sherman is over here at the moment. We had a palm tree that was actually deciding, a coconut tree was deciding to grow itself here from a coconut that fell off the tree, landed here, suddenly started growing. So we've replanted him over there, just beyond that rock, to try and make sure that all of these are reasonably equal apart. We're going to put these 3 here that we've been growing in a bucket. We're going to plant one over here about 5-6 foot away from the boundary column, and Sherman is over there now measuring, and we're going to put another one over there as well. So we're going to put a palm tree here and a palm tree here, and also we've replanted that one, so that's obviously quite nice. We've also dug out all of the silicon, unfortunately, we used, not SL1, so the silicon just didn't hold. So we've scraped that out, we're letting that dry as we speak, and then once that's actually dried, we're going to get some Freedom Flash, which is the dark grey glue from the roof, if you remember rightly. Bloody mega expensive liquid grey gold. So we're going to put some of that on there, and that should then hold it, because at the moment it's been leaking downstairs into the basement. So we'll get that actually get that completely sealed all around, and if it leaks again, then I shall be unhappy, number one. Number two, I should be just digging it out and putting some form of formwork around it and just trying to pour it and make it sealed. But yeah, fingers crossed it won't come to that. We can actually just put some industrial silicone and it should be fine. But anyway, that's where we are with that so far. I'll update you a little bit later on during the day as things go, but I think we're fine. We're not going to do a great more during the day, so I might be checking in with you tomorrow, but either way, I'll see you soon.